Hey everyone, it's Warren. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, then welcome to my channel. For today's video, I have a huge March book haul that I'm really excited about. I haven't done a book haul in like 5 months. I think the last one I did was in November, so it's been kind of a while. So I thought this would be a great way to start off the month of April and just welcome in the spring and refresh my channel a little bit. So this haul is a bunch of books that I've collected over the past couple months. I routinely shop at Barnes & Noble, Target, Amazon, and half-priced books, so I'm going to haul the books by the store that I got them from. But less talk and more books, so let's jump right in. The first book I got is from Target, and that is Everless by Sarah Holland. I've seen a few people talk about this on BookTube, and it sounds really interesting. This takes place in a fantasy world where time is a physical currency. It's like extracted from your blood when you're born, and you can buy time or you can sell time. This book is described as a heist novel. Our main character, Jules, has to sneak into this elaborate mansion here and steal a bunch of time. I'm really intrigued by the plot of this book. It sounds almost like a blend of sci-fi and fantasy and magic put together. It sounds like a really cool idea, and I'm looking forward to reading it. The bulk of this book haul came from Barnes & Noble, and the first book I got from Barnes & Noble was Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. This is obviously the 5th book in the Throne of Glass series. I'm such a fan of these books, and you guys know that. I've almost collected the entire series now, and I think this will make a lovely addition to my Sarah J. Maas Shrine collection over here. The next book I got is The City of Ember by Jean Duprow. This was one of the first books I ever read in the sci-fi genre, and it's what got me interested in reading sci-fi. I'm such a fan of this that I actually have the original paperback copy, the graphic novel, and now I have the deluxe edition. You can obviously tell I love this series. So the story behind why I bought this book, even though I already have 2 copies of it, when I was in the bookstore, I was going to check out with all the books that I wanted, but the line was super long. So I decided I would just browse while I was waiting, and I saw this book on the shelf. The cover was different. The light bulb is bigger, and it has more of a golden bronze color to it on the cover, and it said the deluxe edition, and that really caught my eye because I had loved this series so much, and they even made a movie out of it at one point that was like okay, but I loved the heck out of it. And I've even written to this author, and she has written me back. I have actual letters from this author who's replied to little like 10-year-old me writing her letters, and that just really meant so much to me that she took time to communicate with me and that her story resonated with me so much. And I read the beginning, which is like a little forward by the author, and she just talks about the success of her series over the years. And when I saw this, I just knew I had to purchase it. I had to support this author and just enjoy my favorite series in a new way. The next few books are cover buys, and the reason they're cover buys is because they are replacing books that I already have. So the first book is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. The reason I got this one is because of the new cover. When I ordered this series from Book Depository, I got Ruin and Rising and Siege and Storm in the new covers, but I got Shadow and Bone in the old cover, and I can't have a non-matching series. That would just drive me crazy. I don't like it. It just doesn't match. So I decided to pick up Shadow and Bone in the new editions so that they all match. And I will probably just be unhauling this book. This is the first book in the Grisha trilogy, and this takes place in a fantasy version of Russia, I think. I think it's urban fantasy, it's got magic involved, and it's a very popular series by Leigh Bardugo, who's a popular author. These next 2 books are also cover buys, and they are City of Bones by Cassandra Clare and City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare. I'll be honest, I got these because the spines are so cool. The new covers are really cool. I know there's some controversy about like people who like the old covers versus the new covers. I personally like the new covers the best, and I think the spines are really cool, so when you have the whole series, they line up to make a picture. The reason for this, again, was because I have the old covers of City of Bones and City of Ashes, and I only have these 2 in the entire series. I didn't really see what the point would be to go out of my way to find the old covers just to make these 2 match when I only had these first 2, and I haven't even read City of Ashes, so I decided it would just be easier to just get the whole series over again in the new editions. I am really excited to have these displayed on my shelf, though. I think they look really cool, and I am really excited to read this series. It's been one of my goals for 2018. I've yet to get around to it, but I will, and I'm really excited for it. The next book is Reign the Earth by A.C. Goffin. This is the first book in the Elemente series, and I've heard so many good things about this book. It's been so hyped up. This is a political fantasy about people who can manipulate the elements of nature, and it reminds me a lot of Avatar: The Last Airbender. And so our main character is Shalia, and this is her story about stepping up for her people to try and save her kingdom from a war with a neighboring country. And I think she's an earthbender, so she can control the forces of Earth. It sounds like a really interesting book, book, and I know that it's been super hyped in the booktube community lately, so I'm really excited to be picking this one up. The last book I got from Barnes & Noble was Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I have heard so many good things about this book. This is one of the most popular books on booktube, and this is a metafiction contemporary. So there's a heavy focus on fan fiction in this book, and the main girl, Kath, is a fan fiction writer. I've heard so many great things about Fangirl, and I believe the two characters are in college, which is interesting because there's not a lot of college students represented in YA. A lot of the main characters are usually 17, 18, so it is nice to read books that have characters that are in their 20s. I think that's really cool. Next are the books I'm hauling from Half Priced Books. These are space novels because, as you guys know, I love space so much, so I can never have too many space novels on my shelf. The first book I got was Across the Universe by Beth Rivas. This is a book I've wanted to read for so long. This is a story that is very similar to the movie Passenger with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence. The main character in this book is Amy, who is a passenger on this generation ship called Godspeed that is going towards Alpha Centauri. She is awoken from her cryosleep 50 years too early, and that's where she meets Elder, and as expected, the two of them begin to develop feelings for each other. There's political and social plotting on board the starship. This is a great romantic space opera, so I am super excited to read this book. I also got the sequel, A Million Suns. I think there's 3 books in this series, so it's a trilogy. The next book was also a cover by / replacement, and that was These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. This is the hardcover edition of the book. I don't want to come off as impulsive and just buying a bunch of books for no reason, but I just wanted to have consistency with each of my series, and since the other 2 books in the series are hardcover, I wanted to match with These Broken Stars being in hardcover. The next book is Alienated by Melissa Landers. This is almost a contemporary sci-fi. It takes place in the not too distant future of our world, where aliens have made contact, and one of these aliens is now a interstellar exchange student at a local high school, with our main character, Kara, whose family is hosting him during his stay here. The alien's name is Alex, and so Kara now has to deal with changes in her social life. Everyone's going to be looking at her as the humans that are hosting this alien, so she's in the center of attention with the news and her friends at school, and she's not really sure how to deal with that. This sounds like such a unique story and very realistic, I guess, to how people would react to an alien making contact with Earth. This is either a duology or a trilogy, and I'm looking forward to reading it because it has been on my TBR list for a long time. And the last book I got, this one is from Amazon, and that is Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I just finished reading this book, and oh my goodness, it is so good. It is the second book in the Illuminae Files trilogy, and I just ordered Obsidio. That should be arriving tomorrow in the mail. I love this trilogy so much. I'm so excited for the 3rd book, and I'm so glad that I picked up this series. This story follows 2 new characters, Hannah and Nick, and they are on Jump Station Heimdall, and the story begins right as Bitech attacks the station to prevent the Hypatia from coming through the wormhole and arriving at the station to tell the world about the Carenza attack. So this follows their characters and how they have to react to their own survival situation on this space station. It is a very thrilling sequel to Illuminae. I loved it. It was so good. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars, and I cannot wait to read Obsidio. So those are all of the books that I have collected over the past 2 months. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you've read any of the books I mentioned. Also, let me know if you have any video requests or would like to see video reviews for these books. Just let me know down below in the comment section. And as always, please like and subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!